Hey, thanks for stopping by. If this is your first time here, Capitalism is a pop culture podcast where we evaluate what African movies and TV shows show and tell us about society. The themes we commonly touch on are race, class, gender, and sexuality, all through a social justice lens. We pick out a movie or TV show that I enjoyed watching, and each week we cover a different theme before moving on to the next show. Currently, we're looking at drum rolls. Namaste, Wahala. Namaste, Wahala is a Nigerian romantic comedy that was released in 2021. It's the story of Chidinma, aka Didi, and Raj. Didi is a Nigerian lawyer, and Raj is an Indian investment banker or some money type thing like that. They meet in the cheesiest way you ever saw, fall in love, their parents scrub their self by saying hell no, they fight, break up, cue a heartbreak montage to revel the best of them. Then sufficient time passes, things happen and they make up. Hello, happily ever after, yay! Namaste Wahala will be a 6-part review. The 6 key themes we'll look at are 1. Fat girls and sex, 2. Capitalism and relationships, black tax in particular, 3. Capitalism and relationships, on succession in particular, 4. Gender and housework, 5. Violence against women, and 6. Relationships, love and romance. Hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed making it. One of the things I'm interested in examining is the effect that capitalism and capitalist logic has on relationships. On the one hand, you have Didi's father's obsession with the succession of his law firm, which I suppose is rich people problems. Then there's Ima, who is Raj's Nigerian friend and whose family is financially dependent on him, which is the poor people problem side of it. We cover Ima and his poor people problems in a separate video that I'll link to below. For now, let's do rich people problems. They're so exotic and fun. Didi's father runs a successful law firm, and he wants him a successor, preferably one with a penis who is going to secure his legacy with it. Didi is apparently complicating these succession plans by living her own life. The NGO job her father is dismissively referring to as a hobby that sidetracked her from focusing on important things at the farm is an NGO that works with women in crisis, dealing with things like violence against women, so unimportant hobby stuff. One of the key storylines in the film is Didi and the Indian lady from the NGO, Leela, offering legal representation to a woman who was physically assaulted by the son of a wealthy Nigerian man. This kind of work is what he derisively refers to as a distracting hobby. But what is truly revealing is the fact that Didi started working at the NGO as part of her father's law firm's annual CSR activity. It's almost like companies don't truly care about the CSR activities they append their names to. When coming to her defense, Somto, the preferred penis, or is it penile? Successor, tries to calm Didi's father down by saying she's just doing it to keep the farm in good light. And that tells you everything you need to know about companies and CSR. Her father dismisses her work for 2 key reasons. 1, it's not in keeping with the legacy and succession of the family law firm. And 2, it's not the prestigious moneymaker that the law firm is. The dismissal of her work causes significant tension between father and daughter, and at some point she even leaves home. He calls it a hobby to suggest that it's some kind of waste of time, which in a capitalist society I suppose it is. It's this idea that things only matter, things only have value, if the marketplace determines that they have value. This is why people are continually urged to monetize their hobbies, because that's the only time an activity becomes worth pursuing. So this man dismisses the important work his daughter is involved in, and it causes a serious rift between them. Another aspect of their relationship that stood out for me is that he pushes her towards a relationship with Somto because, he has a penis, and is a good enough lawyer to hand over the law firm to. He doesn't take a single minute to think about whether his daughter likes Somjo or not. All that matters to him is securing the cash cow he's built and making sure it goes into the hands of the right penis person. How can a man who we are encouraged to believe is a good man and a good father act in a way in which his primary concern is not his child's happiness and well-being, but securing his cash cow? How is this a good man, a good parent? How is marriage in the 21st century something you do for your parents? He literally says you should give them a son-in-law, like she owes them that. Dude. I believe as human beings we owe each other a lot, but you cannot convince me that there is a universe in which we can owe our parents a spouse. Jesus Christ. It's also just an interesting reminder about the history and the roots of marriage. It was about, first of all, getting a wife, which is free labor in the home and the farm. Farm, F-A-R-M, and farm, in this case, F-I-R-M. And then it was about getting children, more free labor, and finally about making sure those children were only from your sperm so that they can be legitimate heirs of your accumulated wealth. It's always good to be reminded that marriage wasn't about love and companionship, and that even now it's about a lot more than just love and companionship. In this case, marriage is about succession because it's not enough to be someone's legitimate heir. You must also have a penis or be legally able to join yourself to one, thus being as a result of, say, joining a legal holder of a penis or penis adjacent. Ugh. I don't understand rich people because, well, I'm not rich, and this failure to understand them is likely also the reason why I'm not going to be rich. I don't understand why you would want to box your child into anything. The whole thing about money is it gives you freedom to do shit without the shackles of worrying about how you will keep yourself and those you love alive. I would imagine if you're proper rich, it shouldn't bother you whether your child is engaged in activities that generate money or not. Let me speak for myself. If I was stupid rich, as long as my kid wasn't on some self-destructive path, I'd be cool with them doing whatever. You want to spend your days painting clouds? Do that. Traveling to exotic places? Yeah. Smoking weed and playing in a garage band? By all means. Reviewing random African movies online? Okay, if that's the choice you're making. But that's just me. I cannot fathom why I would want my kids in the hustle when they have a way out. Freedom. This is the point of crazy money, especially when you have a cash cow, in this case in the form of a law firm. Hire competent people to run it, or sell it when you can no longer run it yourself. But don't force your kid into the straitjacket that is living your life. I think part of the reason for this insistence that Didi go back to the farm to work and care for it is to further the capitalist propaganda that wealthy people are wealthy because they work hard. With my fictitious kids globetrotting, smoking weed, just living their best lives, there's no way to make an argument that they're living that life because they work hard. It's obviously not the case. So for rich people with law firms and corporations that exploit other people's labor then accumulate that wealth for themselves and their progeny, it's very important to keep in place that narrative that they work hard for their shit and their kids too and their grandchildren who inherit it after them and so on. Primo and Somto are two of the law firm's employees that were shown. It is implied that they are among the best workers at the firm. Both of them must have been heavily involved in brokering the deal Didi's father was being congratulated for, yet it's safe to assume that all they got for their trouble is likely just their salaries and maybe a bonus. Primo, in fact, gets fired later on in the film, spoiler alert. This is what being a worker looks like. The boss keeps all or at least majority of the proceeds of your labor. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, his daughter, who did nothing towards the success of the farm, casually gets to inherit it. While they're having lunch, someone, Raj's Indian mother, confronts Didi's father about needing to leave the farm to a man when Didi's already a great lawyer. In what is, I'm guessing, supposed to be victory for women, #boss girl feminism, Didi's father agrees that a penis isn't necessarily a prerequisite for inheritance. Even though Didi has shown no interest in running the farm, she's inexplicably happy about her father's sudden willingness to entrust it to her. So you have Primo, a cutthroat lawyer who appears to live for the job and has been an asset to the farm, getting fired, while Didi just gets to inherit the shit that she hasn't worked to build at all. I'm guessing this is why Karl Marx and Engels were against private property and this type of wealth accumulation and inheritance. Anywho, don't marry for your parents. If your father's like Didi's dad, with your chest tell him I told you to tell him. If you want a man to take over your legacy and accumulated wealth so bad, go out and find one yourself. You're a big boy, you can do it. Until next time, remember who you are. Love life. Love people. And stay lunatic. Bye.